Hi there, Librans. Thanks so much for tuning in. A very interesting week. A week in which you have quite an involvement. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not a great week. In fact, by the end of the week, we've got two more planets out of phase or retrograde, which is quite something when we've already got two planets out of phase or retrograde. Now, what's happening is that Saturn is going out of phase or retrograde in Sagittarius, your communication, conversation, and siblings zone. So if you've got anything really important that you need to tell or talk about or discuss with a sibling or someone you feel is like a brother or sister, try to do it ASAP. Every cloud has a silver lining, but you're really going to have to look for it this week. The first sunbeam is late Wednesday, April 5, when motivator Mars makes a productive Earth trine to Pluto. If you don't take advantage of this trine this week, you'll get a second shot at it in October. There is good news early the next day, April 6, when Saturn goes out of phase. The good news about the Saturn retrograde is that success will be yours if you buckle down and tackle any unfinished business. The next 5 months of the Saturn retrograde period are not good times to try to change the status quo, especially in Saturn-ruled areas like your career or in dealings with authority figures, whoever that is in your life. There's another day of sunshine expected, April 7 on Friday, when Jupiter in Libra sits opposite the Sun in Aries. So take note of whatever happens on Friday. This restless face-off occurs once a year and brings with it a general feeling of optimism because, of course, Jupiter is in your sign, which is an optimistic sign, and the Sun in Aries is optimistic, a little crazy, but optimistic. Depending on how Jupiter is configured in your natal chart, do you know where Jupiter is? Is it in Libra? Is it in Aries? Is it in Sagittarius? It's really important that you know these things. It can also open the door to travel and broadening your perspective through higher education. The shadow side of Sun Jupiter includes exaggerating the sunny side of life and overextending yourself. A dark cloud is on the horizon Saturday, April 8, when Venus retrograde makes the second of four squares with Saturn. Although Venus is still in Pisces, the difference between this square and the first one in January is that Venus is retrograde now. And unfortunately, Venus retrograde in a square with Saturn retrograde is a double negative for love and self-esteem, and also not a good sign for the financial scene. More storms are on their way later on Saturday when the Aries Sun squares off with Pluto. That's when your desires clash with bigger circumstances and you can get mixed up in an intense power struggle. And below and behold, Mercury, the planet of communication and clear thinking, decides to go out of phase this weekend because why not, everybody else is. So by the end of the week, we will have Venus and Mercury, the two personal planets of the zodiac, Jupiter out of phase in your sign, Saturn out of phase in Sagittarius. So next week will be very interesting. So stay tuned. Thanks so much, and I'll speak to you soon.